Everyone tells you the same thing, just save more money. Your parents said it, your teachers said it. Every personal finance book starts with it. And hey, it sounds logical, right? Spend less than you earn, save the difference. Easy. Except that advice is not just incomplete, it's potentially dangerous. Let me explain. When I first started trying to get control of my money, I was obsessed with saving. I'd cut out lattes, I'd skip going out. I even stopped using hot water for a week just to lower my utility bill by $10. I was proud of how disciplined I was. But guess what? A year later, I had saved a few $100s, and I was burned out, frustrated, and still broke. Here's the problem. Saving money without a plan, without a goal, and without understanding where your money is actually going doesn't work. You're just playing defense, dodging expenses, feeling guilty every time you spend, and believing that if you just suffer long enough, you'll magically become wealthy. But wealth doesn't work like that. I know, because I lived that cycle for years. And I finally realized it's not about saving money. It's about building a system that makes your money work for you. That's the shift. And nobody talks about it, because just save more is easier to say than build a sustainable financial strategy based on your life. The truth is, saving without a system is like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. You might feel productive, but you're not making real progress. And that's why I'm telling you, don't save money until you understand how to actually manage it. Because once you get that right, once you see money not as something to hoard, but something to direct, everything changes. So, if blindly saving every penny isn't the answer, what is? Let me show you what actually changed everything for me, and for hundreds of people who finally broke free from paycheck to paycheck stress. The key is this: automate your priorities, not your guilt. You don't need to be perfect. You need a system. And the best system I've found, it starts with something called the conscious cash flow plan. Not a boring budget, not a spreadsheet full of categories you'll never stick to. A simple, flexible method where every dollar has a job, and you decide what that job is before the month even begins. Here's how it works. First, you list out your non-negotiables, the things that truly matter: your rent, your groceries, your minimum debt payments. Cool. Next, you identify your goals, things like saving for a trip, building an emergency fund, or investing a little every month. And here's the magic. Instead of waiting to see what's left at the end of the month, you pay your goals first. Yes, first. Even if it's just $20, even if you're not sure you can afford it. Because when you start assigning purpose to your money, it starts working harder, and so do you. Now, most people stop here, but here's where the real shift happens. You build in permission to spend, guilt-free. Yup, you heard that right. A fun money category, a weekly coffee run, a little splurge budget. Why? Because this makes the system sustainable. If your plan feels like punishment, you'll abandon it the second life gets tough. But if your plan includes joy, it sticks. You're not cutting yourself off from life. You're building a life you actually want to live, with intention and freedom. This isn't about restriction. It's about redirection. Instead of letting your money disappear and wondering where it went, you become the boss. You tell every dollar where to go. You decide what matters. Not advertisers, not your friends, not your fears. Just you. And once you make this shift, from reacting to your money to commanding it, you'll never go back to the just save more hamster wheel again. Once I stopped obsessing over saving every dime and started focusing on building a system, something unexpected happened. I finally felt in control. For the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid to check my bank account. I didn't feel guilty when I bought something I actually enjoyed. And most importantly, I stopped equating saving money with living less. Because real wealth isn't about saying no to everything. It's about being able to say yes to the right things without stress, without guilt, and without second-guessing yourself. But here's the thing no one tells you. This isn't about being rich overnight. It's about building a life that makes sense for you, piece by piece. That means understanding what freedom looks like to you. Is it quitting the job you hate? Traveling the world? Starting your own business? Taking care of your family? When you define your vision clearly, money becomes a tool, not a goal. And suddenly, saving isn't about being responsible. It's about fueling your freedom. So how do you build long-term wealth with this mindset? Simple. You create a feedback loop between your habits and your goals. You set up small automations, $100 to investments every month, $50 toward your emergency fund, a line item in your plan for future dreams. You check in once a week, not to punish yourself, but to adjust, to learn, to grow. And you celebrate progress, even if it's just $10 saved or one bad habit replaced with a better one. And the most powerful part? You realize this journey doesn't require perfection, just consistency, just awareness, just choosing to show up for yourself financially, every day, in small but meaningful ways. Because wealth isn't built from one big decision, it's built from thousands of tiny ones. So don't fall into the trap of thinking you're bad with money just because saving felt impossible before. You're not breaking. You were just given the wrong advice. Just save more is like telling someone to just be happy. What you need is clarity, structure, and a system that's built around your life, not someone else's. So here's your takeaway. Don't save money blindly. Save with purpose, save with a plan, and most importantly, build a system that works for you, not against you. That's the difference between surviving and thriving. You've got this, and your future self, they're already thanking you.